Okay, once your felt channel has dried in the metal channel, your window track channel, you go ahead and remove your tape. Then you're ready to install the channel inside the door. Now, I told you that these brackets have to be facing in a certain position. If you look at the door right here, you'll see that the metal structure inside the door is basically lined up with your metal right here. And once again, you can bolt these on if you want. I'm going to go ahead and weld them in, okay, because that's what I'm going to do here. You don't have to weld them in if you don't want to. That's what I'm going to do. So you take your felt channel and you slide it up through the bottom. Make sure that your track's pushed in and it will fit in there. Now it slides in there like it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and line my glass up in the track. Alright? If you look real close. What I did is I put my felt channel in there. I slid the track up inside there. I lined it up with the two braces in the door. And what I'm going to do is slide it on there. Now, you do not want this to be on there real tight. You want the glass to have movement in there. So before you bolt this down or weld it, make sure that you have at least a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch play, back and forth play, okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and weld that on. I'm going to let everybody out there know this is, I'm doing this by myself for a reason. I'm doing it to show you it can be done by yourself, because a lot of people out there are building these cars by themselves, and I know you're getting frustrated. And I'm just trying to tell you, take your time and you'll get it done. So I got it in there, but I'm not pushing on the glass. I'm just letting it loosely stay in there, and I'm leaving a little bit of play, and I'm trying to find the flat spot in the glass as I'm doing it. I'm just taking my time, and we're going to go ahead and spot weld that on there. Make sure your glass is covered with the cardboard. Okay, we got the top one on, and before I weld that bottom one, I'm going to tighten my bolt up on the top L bracket that came with our Street Beast car. We want that to be tight so we know where we're at. This is a real important procedure of installing the glass properly where it won't bind up. So I get that tight on there, just like so. And then, if you notice, if you can see that, the track still moves, okay? So that's good. I only have one little spot weld up here. The reason I weld these on, it's a lot easier to install them than bolting them, because then you got to drill holes, and if you don't have it precisely drilled where you're going to bolt it together, it's pretty hard to line everything up. It's actually better to weld these in the car. So I look at my track down here. If you notice, that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I want that to have ample play in it. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm moving the glass back and forth. I want about an 1/8 of an inch play, and I want it to just sit in there loosely. Okay, I want to make sure that the window and the track is lining up in the center of our door opening. Okay, that's another reason you want to use, your angle iron here and clamp it on there, because you'll be able to make sure that the glass is floating in there and sitting properly before you adjust all these brackets and weld them on. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cover that glass down on the bottom here. And as you're covering it, make sure you're paying attention, okay, to the side movement that you have. I have approximately maybe an 1/8 inch side play. So let me just tack weld that. And like I said, more than likely we'll probably have to bust these welds loose, scoot it over a little bit or move it in to get it right. okay? But that's just part of building the car. So what I'm doing is I'm getting that where I want it. Double check on my side plate, because I don't want to have to take it off. Okay, so we're going to go with it right there where it's at. I'm just going to let it float in place where it's supposed to be. I tack weld it in there. And then, once it's tack welded in place, go ahead and remove your cardboard, like so. Take your hands, very easy because it's going to be in there loosely, and move it up to make sure that the window goes up in your opening. And I see that this is going to work perfect. So the next thing I want to do, okay, now that I got the glass up in the holder, I'm going to hold it with one hand. We're going to remove our angle iron. And I've already got a board cut, and I'm going to use that as a jam tool to jam our glass up there while we work on the track. Okay, I'm just going to set it right there. And get your glass in there level, okay, before you jam it up. Alright, and just let it fall down. Alright, so as you see, half of it's up, half of it's down. Now what we're going to do, that's basically where you want it, because you have to clamp the electric motor onto the glass to get everything lined up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardboard, okay, because now what we have to do is we have to cut this lower bracket in half. We're going to take that center section out, okay? Now, depending on what kit you get, is going to depend on how much you need to take out here, okay? I believe that I measured from here to here was 19 1/4, and from the back end of the door to the center was 14 1/4, okay? I'm going to take that section out. We know that this is the center where the motor goes, because that's the plate where our regulator that comes with the Street Beast car is installed at. So I'm going to cut this section out. You can see where I marked it with X's, and then we're going to install the electric motor. Go ahead and throw that away if you want, unless you want to keep it for extra metal that you might use somewhere else on your vehicle. You won't need this anymore for your car, for your door.